Hello painting pals and hobbyists, welcome to our first hobby product unboxing and review video. Today we're going to be looking at the Redgrass Games Studio XL Wet Palette. We'll take a look at what's inside of the box and our first impressions of the product. Let's go. Firstly, we'll take a quick look over the packaging. The front of the box has got a nice graphic of the palette in action with the product name and the company branding all over it here. Let's flip this over, we'll have a look at the back of the box now. There's some marketing text which talks about the benefits of using a wet palette. There's also a really handy QR code that takes you to a help page which has a great article about how to use it, how to set it up, and some great tips on how to keep it clean. And finally, there's some really basic instructions here which takes you through how to set it up and how to use it for the first time. There's just enough here to get you started, but I would definitely recommend checking out that article on the website. Let's get it opened up on the desk and let's see what's inside. Nice. So we can see here all the different parts, all individually wrapped in their own plastic packaging. In the XL Lite, we get the palette case itself with the elastic band that helps keep the lid on. A bag that contains 2 pieces of the hydration foam, which holds all the water. And a pack of the hydration sheets, which is the membrane that I mentioned before, that goes over the foam that you pop your paints onto. Starting with the palette itself, it's made of a sturdy plastic. Now, I don't know enough about plastics to say how this is made, but if it's anything like my previous palette from Redgrass Games, it can take some punishment. The palette dimensions are 20 centimeters deep and 30 centimeters wide, giving you hordes of space to work. If we go to the lid, there's a nice rubber seal around here which helps form that airtight seal, combined with the elastic band wraps around the case and keep that airtight seal, which keeps your paints workable for days. A big selling point for me on this kind of product is the depth of the palette. Being so narrow and low profile, you can easily access it without any fear of knocking it over, spilling the contents all over your workspace. My only real concern here is that the lid is white. Now, I'm a notoriously messy hobbyist. You can see this getting covered with grubby painty finger marks if we aren't careful. Moving on to the foam sponges, these are cut and shaped to fit perfectly in the palette. From experience, they tend not to swell very much once saturated with water, and they'll leave a nice gap around the edge to allow more water to be added easily. We get 2 in the box, which is a really nice feature, meaning that we've got a spare for when we work through the first one, or if that's being cleaned, so we can always have a sponge on the go, we can always be painting and hobbying about. Finally, let's take a look at the hydration sheets. We get a really good decent number of sheets here. There's 50 in the pack, and they do last a long time, especially at this size. I think you're going to get like a lot of use out of them. I think it's a really nice inclusion. They're cut to shape and size to match the sponge, again leaving a little border around the outside. I've used these sheets in the past with the smaller wet palette, and they are really good, but you can easily substitute these out with something like parchment paper or baking paper or even another company's wet palette paper. The pack that these come in is resealable, so you don't end up with a pile of loose sheets everywhere. As you can see, these are really thin, and that's how they're designed to work. They let moisture through to keep everything nicely hydrated and workable for longer periods of time. So all in all, a great product. I picked this up directly from the website for about $39.99 with free shipping. It's a great product for painters that are new to wet palettes or as an upgrade for someone who's a little bit more experienced. There are some other products out there that offer the same kind of experience at different levels of price point and quality, but this one gets consistently good feedback and is becoming the go-to product for many amateur and professional hobbyists, artists and creatives. Buying a commercial wet palette isn't a hobby necessity, it's a nice to have. You can easily make your own DIY version using some simple household items. There is tons and tons of tutorials on YouTube that cover this. Really, for a product like this, where it shines for me is the ready-made nature for it. It just comes out of the box, ready to go, ready to paint, no time wasted. So it gets a risky paint splat of approval from me. If you've liked this video, consider liking and subscribing for more content. You can catch me live over on Twitch using this product and painting various different projects. That's twitch.tv/riskypaints, and I'm live every Monday, Wednesday and Friday from 7 PM GMT. Until next time, my painting pals, keep on hobbying.